10 minutes at the top of the hour here, and with less than 24 hours until the first polls open on Election Day, the stakes could not be higher for Vice President Harris and President Trump here in the final stretch. The latest Decision Desk HQ polling average shows the candidates tied nationally at 48.3% each. Now, the Wall Street Journal reports that President Trump is looking to boost turnout among young men voters, while Vice President Harris is focusing on the women. Let's now bring in Republican strategist Michaela Carr and Democratic strategist Fred Hicks for more this morning. Good morning to both of you on Election Monday here. Michaela, let me begin with you and, kind of what I just laid out there. Do you think it's a risky strategy for the former president to zero in on young men who don't normally vote as often as women do?
I think this is going to be kind of one of these elections where it is the election of first-time voters, low propensity voters, and low information voters, right? The voters who, for whatever reason, have been eligible to participate in their suffrage for a very long time and have chosen not to. And each candidate is making a decision. I'm going to try and get these low propensity voters out. I have a better shot with this group. Harris is saying I have a better shot trying to get more people to turn out if I go for women. Trump is making that same analysis. He has a better shot to get more people out because the traditional way to just get the reliable voters out, that's tied. So this is going to be low propensity, low information voters coming out for maybe even the first time.
And Fred, we've been talking all morning. It's now about just, motivating people to get off the couch and vote tomorrow. For those who end up not voting, you have two very different candidates here. How will we end up diagnosing that for the people who don't come forward and vote? Is it they thought their candidate was a shoo-in, they're a double doubter, they don't like either of them, they didn't think their vote would count? I mean, why will people not vote in this election, you think? What will be that storyline?
Yeah, I think the number one reason that people will not vote in this election is that they feel that government is inherently broken and doesn't work for them, or in other words, that it doesn't matter if they vote or not because what's going to be is going to be. And when you look at two candidates who've raised the amount of money that they have, over $1 billion on our side and a purported billionaire on the other side, it's hard in many cases for your middle class person to feel like they are really going to matter and their vote will make a difference. So I think that's the thing. And if I were making a closing argument as a candidate, that's what I would focus on right now is your vote makes a difference because I will make a difference in your life where you are.
Speaking of big money, Republicans have now seized on remarks by Harris campaign surrogate Mark Cuban saying he's never seen former President Trump around strong, intelligent women. Michaela, how much do you think that could potentially backfire for the Harris campaign with women in swing states?
I think each one of these gaffes, whether it's Biden calling half the country garbage or Cuban saying there aren't any smart women around Trump, people say things that then are heard the wrong way, and of course the opposing party is going to pounce on them. I think in this instance, it's additionally evidence of what the left really views of the right, is that if you don't agree, then you must be an unintelligent person. And I think it really does a disservice to the candidate that they're trying to prop up to just be continuously ridiculing their supporters.
And Fred, speaking, about the women here, Democrats are banking on abortion being the deciding factor for a lot of women voters who come forward. Are you worried that a lot of women will come forward and say, I agree with Kamala Harris on that, but I have to vote with my wallet and the economy being number one? How worried are you about banking on that?
So I think three things. Number one, let me push back against what Michaela said. Let's be clear. The right has demonized the left and anyone who does not fall behind the MAGA red hat wearers over the last 8 years as people who are unintelligent, people who don't love this country, people who don't love themselves, people who are fascist, socialists, and all these other kinds of things there. So let's not make that into a left issue. I want to talk about that, number one. Number two, with respect to abortion, I think I also want to clarify something there. It's not about abortion. It's about reproductive rights, and it's about the government telling you what to do with your body. And Democrats, Kamala Harris leading the way, have been very clear about that. So whether it's abortion, whether it's personal privacy, whether it is any of these other things, it's about government overreach and government intrusion into your life. And so that's a very important thing. And abortion is the embodiment of that particular issue, but that's really what we're talking about there. And then with respect to number three, I think it's important to note that the polls have indicated that Kamala Harris has almost drawn even, and in some polls has drawn even with Donald Trump on the issue of the economy. So the great thing I think about the last 10 days for the Harris campaign is that they've moved from from people having to make a decision on either or. For many of these late-breaking people, it's now the idea that they can have they can have a candidate and a president who will make them feel good about being America, who won't peddle in fear, but who also will be responsible with the economy.
Well, we will see how the people come forward and vote come tomorrow. Fred Hicks, Michaela Carr, thank you so much to both of you on a very busy week. Appreciate it.